go. There's no place on Earth that we can't find you.
It'd be nice if there were a couple hundred more cars to this train.
We just got some crazy news yesterday, guys, and it's regarding Venom and Marvel's Spider-Man 2. So today's news, we have a brand new interview with Entertainment Weekly and Brian and Tahar where they discuss their philosophy behind Venom, how the symbiote plays its role in Spider-Man 2, their process of creating Venom, and lastly, how Tony Todd brings Venom to new heights. By the way, it's not just Brian and Tahar, it's like other people at Insomniac too, forgot to mention that. But anyway, this whole thing's crazy because in like the panel that we're going to be getting later today, we're obviously going to be learning a little bit more about Venom in this game. So with that, make sure to check out yesterday's video where we try to figure out the timeline of the symbiote and as well its origin. But with that, today's news is coming from, again, Entertainment Weekly. They got an exclusive interview with Brian and Tahar, creative director of Marvel Spider-Man 2, and as well as some other members of the Insomniac crew. The title of the article is Smile for Venom. Marvel Spider-Man 2 previews their spin on a classic villain. Tony Todd, horror genre's Candyman, lends his voice to what the developers call the anti-Spider-Man. I think that's an interesting choice of words, anti-Spider-Man. I mean, like, Venom is kind of anti-Spider-Man. He's like the Flash's reverse Flash, but maybe not as petty, perhaps.
It was me, Barry. I made them draw Lola Bunny with fewer sexual features so that you wouldn't be horny and reduce your blood flow to make you a millisecond slower. Slow enough for me to kill Iris.
But with that, holy shit. Okay, so we got our first in-game look at Venom in.
Oh boy, yeah.
Does this look so sick? So, all right, here it is. This looks absolutely insane, guys. Venom looks so good in game. It's giving me very much Ultimate Spider-Man vibes. You feel me? Okay. But again, super dope. I like the pose though, and like looks like it's nighttime. It must be in like the middle of Manhattan City, I'm assuming, because of like the background. Also, you can sort of see some vehicles in the back. Those are either cop cars or more than likely Kraven's henchman vehicles. Kind of hard to tell. They're probably Kraven's guys, which if so, nice detail they put there. The article begins with casting Venom for Marvel Spider-Man 2, and they say that it was freakier than the character himself for Brian and Tahar. He said it was one of the things he was avoiding for as long as possible because he was scared of who they were going to have voice Venom. And he goes on to say they knew it would be very anticipated and people would have a lot of opinions about it. And I agree. I mean, he's definitely not wrong because look, like, Spider-Man fans are something else, man. I feel like Spider-Man fans are almost never happy. They always got some shit to complain about. Not me personally, but also we wear our opinions on our sleeves, if that makes sense. Like, I know I do, at least. Like, we just have very strong, passionate... Holy fuck, not my TASM 2 cell phone ringtone going off mid-video. But yeah, we Spider-Man fans have very strong, passionate feelings about the character and just its mythos in general. After, they just say, enter Tony Todd, and when Tony was doing Candyman, Brian heard his voice in a trailer for the movie. And at the time, Tony submitted an audition tape for Spider-Man 2 as well. Tahar then says that everything we talked about with Venom, that sense of strength, fear, sense of overwhelming, so different from Peter, Tony embraces all of that completely in the performance. And I think that's super dope because these characters mean a lot to people like you and me. These characters are very important to us, and I can tell Insomniac already knows because it's almost as important to them the way it is to us as well. With, like, you know, just the way they handle these games, a lot of care, thought, blood, sweat, tears, etc. I think it's honestly a beautiful thing. They go on to mention the San Diego Comic-Con panel again that's happening in like a few hours later today. Oh, Jacinda Chu is in this interview. So she says, it's really interesting when you think about what makes Venom different from Spider-Man. The symbiote is often known as an allegory for the darkness that the host is fighting against. So with that, what makes him an anti-Spider-Man? Jacinda Chu low-key spitting. You feel me? Okay, so like the symbiote obviously, you know, is like a story or symbol of the darkness the host is fighting against. So there's actually two things I think make Venom, and specifically like the symbiote, just Venom itself, the symbiote, anti-Spider-Man. And one is essentially Venom itself at first will compromise all of Spider-Man's morals and everything he cares about, and even innocent bystanders at first. But then obviously the host, typically Eddie Brock, will, you know, gain some control of the symbiote and be like, no, symbiote, we cannot endanger innocent lives. We were innocent once. And the second thing that I think makes Venom in general anti-Spider-Man is basically how Spectacular Spider-Man put it.
The symbiote's proven its point. Take me back.
That's what it wants, right? A reunion with its first love?
The symbiote's found a better partner in me.
Me? Not us.
But the thing is, it can't have its first love, so it becomes more toxic than it already was. It's almost like loving someone so much you'll kill them so that no one else can be with them. It's low-key some deep shit, I feel like. So I think that's what makes a symbiote anti-Spider-Man, but that's just my opinion. Okay, now this is where I think it gets super interesting. This seems to actually confirm the fan theory of the symbiote in this universe actually being an alien from outer space. This is a huge paragraph, but it's kind of just rehashing the first two games, but we're gonna focus on the highlighted line at the bottom, and it says the post-credit scene reveals Harry has been in a stasis chamber in a secret lab in Father Norman Osborn's home, and a symbiote, the alien species, is a part of this procedure. Now I don't know if that's like a 100% confirmation, only because like the article writer said it, not Brian Intihar necessarily, but Sony does like approve of this stuff before it comes out, so maybe that is the case and it is from outer space. But moving on to the next paragraph, Brian Intihar says, we wanted to try something different. I don't think you can get much more different from Doc Ock than you do Venom. It's about power, strength being slighted. It's about Pete being involved more in the creation of Venom. I think that's what attracted us. And again, like, I agree. I think he's right, because the Venom we know would not be Venom without Spider-Man, literally. So I think he's totally right on that aspect of it. And just hearing things like this back to back from like different Insomniac members just makes me more confident in this game and stuff, because like they just understand these characters so well. Then John Paquette goes on to say, the story is about what happens when that darkness takes over. It's not just Peter who's impacted by the symbiote, it's the loved ones and family around the host who has to see what's happening to the person they love as well, which makes for a lot of juicy drama that we can get from that. And again, totally agree. I think Venom, or the symbiote in general, in Spider-Man stories is a very easy plot point you can do so much with, but it's also hard to like make it stick, I guess, or kind of like reinvent the wheel or like revolutionize the character, if that makes sense. Then Jacinda Chu talks about the Venom design and gives some interesting insights when making Venom's design. She said there's specific story details that had a direct impact on the character's design. The spider insignia is one of them, aka the logo on the front chest area. She says one challenge was, how much does Venom talk? She also asked, does he have lips? Does he ever laugh? Does he smile, frown? It's a fine line between making this character, or creature I mean, scary, intimidating, but also relatable as well. And that's intriguing because Venom, to a degree, does usually end up being a little relatable as far as like, oh, this and that happened to me and, you know, drove me mad, so now I have to, you know, take it into my own hands. And I mean, things and stuff happen to everyone every day, and at the end of the day, it's kind of just about how you choose to cope or deal with it type shit. So I think that's the relatable part, is like maybe like, you know, like the things that happen to us, and you know, some people aren't strong enough to cope correctly, so they take things into their own hands, kind of like Venom. Obviously, you know, not like that in real life, but like, you know, you guys know what I mean, right? But essentially, like the bad luck Venom had before he became Venom, maybe, and stuff like that, the symbiote kind of just amplifies the rage that happens due to that bad luck, if that makes sense. Lastly, Brian says, for us, Venom is the host plus the symbiote. You don't get Venom without both bonded together, and that Tony represents that bond. And if anything, Tony made them feel more confident in the visual design of the character. Well, that sort of seems to confirm Venom does have a host and is not a self-sufficient monster Venom. But anyway, lastly, they give a reminder of Comic-Con and the Spider-Man 2 symbiotic relationship panel, which again is happening around 4 to 6 hours from when I first upload this. Again, it's going to be later today from 5:30 to 6:30 Eastern, or 2:30 to 3:30 Pacific. So be sure to stay tuned to see what gets announced. With that, what do you think of all the news today, and including the first look at Venom in game? Make sure to comment your opinion down below so I can discuss all of that with you in the comment section. Thank you for taking time out of your day to click on this video. If you are new to the channel, I cover Spider-Man related scoops, rumors, leaks, confirmations for the games, movies, TV shows, and I try to upload as much as I can. So if any of that interests you, hit the subscribe button. We're on the road to 4,000 subscribers. If you want more of this type of content, leave a like on the video. Don't forget to check out my latest video on the left if you haven't already. I hope you have had a good day and that you enjoyed the video. Until next time.